we were doing in Rex 2.0, using stage 2 skills, was no longer adequate for our members. Sorry, that should be stage 1 skills. What I've figured out is that with our clients and our roundtables, there's about 8 skills, 8 practices, that if they do them well, they're going to succeed reasonably well in the 80s, 90s, and so forth. But now, after the great discontinuity, not only do you have to do all these well, but you've got to do more. So let's take a look at what Rex 3.0 is. Chris Argyris, probably 90 years old. I'm not even sure if he's still alive. He was at the Harvard School of Public Education and ended up sitting in more executive team meetings than I facilitated. Thousands of them. And he would come back again and again and watch the executive team work. And what he noticed is this. There was 2 types of learning that went on, or 2 types of problem solving. Problem shows up, think of a solution, implement it, check and see if it worked. He called that single loop learning, 1 loop around. And he said, that was good. And he says that's what 95% of all executives he ran into did. But he said it was inadequate. Because in fact they were not solving the problem, they were solving a symptom of the problem. And that invariably there was a deeper problem that was left unaddressed because there was no pain. So that obvious example, you have an executive on your management team who's not right. You eventually replace that person and say, problem solved. Not so. Symptom solved. The underlying problem is that you have an inadequate hiring system and an inadequate hiring philosophy. When you look at a company that has done a spectacular job of recruiting strong, independent, committed employees, Zappos, Tony Hsieh says our problem is that we tend to hire fast and fire slow, and we should be doing the exact opposite, hiring very slowly and firing very fast. That is very different than what we do. What Tony has done is dealt with the underlying root cause of the problem. That's called double loop learning. We go through the same problem solving, but we're going a layer deeper. We're asking, why did it happen? Why did that happen? Why did that happen? Why did, look at this underlying cause. And in each case, the underlying cause is a very deep-seated design issue that's built in to the assumptions on which your business operates. Its policies, its procedures, the way the industry is, its culture. And so to resolve a problem at the double loop level, you have to change the organization, not just fix the problem. And sometimes you may need to change the way the CEO thinks, because they're so committed to doing things the way they always have, or the way the industry always have, is that they can't engage in double loop learning. That's our challenge in Rex for 2013, to begin moving in that direction. So we're beginning by upping the ante. We're asking every member to commit, to show up always prepared. We'll probably fire a member or 2. If you do get your field trip to Beryl and you've read the thing I've written about them, you know that one of the ways they have spectacularly great, loyal clients is that they every once in a while will fire one who does not live up to standards. That is an act of courage that makes you great instead of just good. We're going to focus on improvement of performance and the quality of our members' lives. And double loop learning will be at the foundation of all of that. So how are we going to do it? As I thought of all these ideas, and I talked with some of our members, what came out of this is the trio. We're going to use the trio as the mechanism for doing this. The trio will give us more member time, and it will give us more opportunity to deeper member connectivity, and it will give us more time to train members. So, every member will be in a trio, sometime a foursome. That membership will rotate. After someone's had 2 out of 3 meetings in a year, in a trio, the one person will move to another trio. So everybody gets to be with everyone. We have a set of performance sheets, I'll show those to you later, that every member fills out and updates for each meeting. They bring copies to give to their trio members. The trios then take half a day, an hour a person, where they dig into each person's. This is kind of like the business review in miniature. It's not going to be a 2 or 3 hour review, it's going to be about a 1 hour review, but we're going to do it 3 times a year, so it is 3 hours. And because of its continuity, it may have more power. When the trios are finished, they'll report back to the larger group on breakthroughs and barriers on their members. Breakthroughs to share, and barriers so the whole roundtable can put their thinking caps on about how to help that member around that particular issue. As the trios are operating, they will be coached in each person on the trio fulfilling a different role. Those are spelled out in the Power of 3 document that I've emailed you. We've selected 6 safe zone behaviors that we believe are the best self-monitoring meeting skills that our trio members can learn to do so their trios can be both effective, efficient, go deeper, and produce better results. No surprises in what those behaviors are, but we don't always follow them. When we come back to the larger roundtable, each of the 6 behaviors will be assigned to someone for that half day, and it will be their job to facilitate, say, participation. And at the end of that whole group afternoon, let's say, we'll go back to John and everybody will rate John. How did you do on nurturing participation? Because in the Power of 3 document, it describes what participation is and how to nurture it and how to facilitate to make it happen better. So we'll see how John does, and we'll coach John on getting better at this. This will relieve the chair of having to manage the process quite as much. I believe with 6 people managing the process, we'll do a better job. We'll move from a 1-cylinder to 6-cylinder engine. It's going to be better. We'll also be training all of our members about these 6 behaviors, so they will begin almost unconsciously, if not consciously, bringing them back into their meetings back home and improving their back home meetings. We think this is powerful. We'll encourage trios between meetings. We'll track their progress, and we'll make a real example. If we see a trio that's meeting regularly and really making progress, and trios that aren't meeting well and aren't making progress. This is the performance that we'll track for each trio. But it's going to be done on a trio basis, not a roundtable basis. What are your goals for the year? 8 monthly KPIs, your goal and actual for each month. So that'll be reviewed each meeting. And then the same 8 KPIs for the whole year, but over a decade. Because I believe that when you look at a decade, you see different things than when you make a year-to-year comparison. Based on what I learned from Arlen about his 3 critical plans, they will also complete a business plan, an improvement plan that covers organizational, professional, and personal, and also a legacy plan. And these will be the core of what we're trying to improve. The mechanism will be the trio. The process will be those 6 safe zone behaviors. I believe with these tools, we can transform the quality of the roundtable, get higher performance for our members, better quality of their lives, deeper connection between the members, more loyalty of our members, and a better reputation out in the world around us. So that's what Rex 3.0 is. I hope some of this makes sense to you, and I hope you will seriously consider the use of trios to enhance the strength of your round.